All right, so this is your WordPress toolbar on the left hand side, and I am not going to give you a tour as in go through each little thing before we doing anything. I'm going to give you a tour as we go along and as we do things, because I like to be productive. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to customize your settings. We're actually going to work our way from the bottom up. And we're not going to do anything with Yoast SEO or Insights, because these are actually plugins. And as I mentioned before, we're going to dive into installing plugins, deleting plugins that were installed for you, and configuring those in another video. So right now we're just going to click on settings. And as soon as we click on settings, we're going to be taken to the general settings. So your site title right now is welcome. And you want to go ahead and change that to whatever your website name is. So mine, let's say, is going to be Denise Nicole DIY. And as you might have seen here, the name of your website changed here, but then I haven't saved anything yet, so let's see. I'm gonna click on visit site, and I'm gonna open it in a new window, and I'm gonna notice that it says welcome right here. So we're just gonna go ahead with this general settings, and then we're gonna see it change. So your tagline, in a few words, you're going to explain what this site is about, right? And so I'll say, do it yourself with Denise Nicole. You don't have to have a tagline, but it's nice for people to see when they're coming to your website. And what will happen is, once we click save, here it's going to say the title, and after this dash you're going to see that tagline. Definitely not needed, but again, it just looks a little better and helps people know exactly what they're getting when they head to your site. So your address URL, site URL, that should all stay the same. You are the administrator, your email address, you can verify that. We're going to leave the new user default role as subscriber. Some people, conduct memberships on their WordPress. We are not going to get into that. We're just doing a basic website. So your time zone, if it's anything different, you can go ahead and change it. I'm going to leave it as is. If you want to change the date format, you can do that here. If you want to change the time, you can do that here. If you want to change what day the week starts on, and then we're just going to leave that cache level normal. And so now we're going to save changes. You see it changed here. And then if I go to my additional window and I refresh, it's also going to change here. Isn't that cool? Oh, and it also changed right there. So now we're going to click on writing. So your default post category is going to stay uncategorized because you don't have any posts and you don't have any categories. We'll get into that later. Same thing with the post format. We're just going to leave it as standard. I can, if wanted, link to maybe an article that talks about these different formats. But for right now, for that article type of feel for your post, we're going to leave it as standard. Okay. Nothing else is going to change down here, so we don't have to click on save changes because we haven't changed anything. We can go ahead and click on reading right now. And just a note, WordPress was created primarily for blogging, so it is going to default that your latest posts will be displayed on your home page. And so when you think about the difference between a blog and a a blog and a website. I'm sorry. The main difference between a blog and a website is what you see when you come to their homepage. So a blog, the homepage is going to display those latest posts. And then when you are creating your website, the homepage is going to display to a different home page, right? And then the post page will be your blog. So again, we haven't created those pages. So we're just going to leave this as is for now, and we're going to come back and update all of that once we have those things created. You can decide how many blog posts you want to show on each page, how many syndication feeds show the most recent, like how many items it shows on your RSS feed. For each post in the feed, you want to either include full text or excerpt. I always do excerpt because you want to bait them in. You want to just give them a little bit and have them click a button or click read more, right? And so we're going to leave this unchecked. We do not want to discourage search engines from indexing this site. We want them And we do not want to discourage search engines from indexing this site. So we're going to leave this unchecked because this is how people find you on like Google, and your articles get to the top of the page. So we're just going to go ahead and click Save Changes. Did our changes? Okay, we'll make sure that they saved. And then we're going to move on to discussion. Okay, so the first two of these default post settings we can go ahead and uncheck. Attempt to notify any blogs linked to from the post, and allow link notifications from other blogs on new posts. So these are things that no longer happen in the blog world. So because they no longer happen, we're going to uncheck them. It's not needed. Now we're going to go down here and talk about the comment settings. Comment author must fill out name and email. User must be registered. No, but we do want to uncheck automatically close comments on posts older than 28 days. Once you start blogging and putting posts, it may live here for a long time, right? And so you want people that when they come here, no matter how long it's been since you've written that article, that they're still able to comment on it, okay? So the rest of these can stay as is. I like to, as a default avatar, I like to show the Gravatar logo. So we're going to go ahead and show save changes. I'm sorry. We're going to click on media. And this is just letting us know the default sizes of the images as you pull them in to media. So don't worry that these are the default. These are the defaults that will show, but you can always customize your media or image size to something different than this. And permalinks, we want to definitely change that the permalink is the post name. And so basically what this means is when you start to create pages and posts, it will pull in the actual title. So if you create an about page, when somebody clicks on it, the URL will be, yoururl.com/about versus like all of this other stuff. So let's save that. And then last in the settings is privacy. So WordPress created a privacy policy page for us, and it already has it selected here. So we'll just go ahead. We won't click use this page, but we'll just go ahead and leave it as is. Even though later on we're going to connect our own cookie consent plugin and create our own pages that will connect to that. So yeah, we are done with our settings.